Who likes addictive patterns? Who likes to see color play? Woo! Today we're gonna get started on a fabulous new design by Yarnspirations.com. And don't say I didn't warn you, cause it's fun and fabulous. If you look carefully at this design, you're going to notice that the center has a lot of color and it's more slower, and then as the rings get out, it's like a tree and the rings just go and go, and the rings get thinner and thinner because it's getting more and more round. And you're going to see your Red Heart Super Saver Ombre workout. Now you're going to want to do color play. So I have a video on how to do that, those kind of concepts, because we're doing it with the Summer Stitch Along 2022 with the study of ombre, being able to jump from ball to ball to keep those colors all fun and fabulous. Let's get started right now. Hi, I'm Mikey from the Crochet Crowd, and thank you so much for joining our channel today. I'm here to inspire you and create magic with your crochet hook. Are you ready to play?
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
So let's begin. We are making a 7-point popcorn stitch crochet blanket. So as I mentioned in the introduction, see how it goes out really slow, and then as it gets more, you can see that the ripples get a little more narrow as you go out. So what we need to do is that we need to focus on the focal point of being strategic on keeping the colors looking consistent. So the issue becomes that you have to use 4 balls here, and this color that we see is called purple. And what we have to do is strategize the other balls that when they come into play. So I have a video on YouTube, and I'll put it in the article that this will be in. So look at the video description, you'll find that. And I'll put that in there because we're using that same color play concept when it comes to the current Summer Stitch Along. I'm currently on week number 2. And what happens is that it transitions out, but when I have to jump to another ball in the future, I want to make sure that the next ball is at the same colorway so that I can keep the idea. And that same colorway may actually be partially through the ball, so I want to start it where that's going to start and then use the remaining of the ball elsewhere in the project. So you're not wasting yarn, you're just being strategic about the yarn play. So this one's going to be relatively quick and easy. It is a repeating pattern once you get moving on this thing. And let me just take a look at the diagram on page number 2. Ooh, fabulous. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get ourselves started, and then once you see these popcorns come into play, they just show it a few times and then you can enjoy your journey. 5.5mm size eye crochet hook is the recommendation today with the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. I'm just gonna use Red Heart Super Saver, just a basic yarn, so that you can see it without the colors interrupting your flow to learn today. Let's begin. Let's begin by creating a slip knot. This is an easy level pattern, and we need to chain a total of 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and simply go into the beginning chain, yarn over and pull through, and you'll get the starting round circle. Now I want you to keep that straggler, the loose end, around with the ring so that when you crochet on round number 1 you can bury it up underneath. Let's begin round number 1. So this one is a little bit interesting. So I started my whole introduction, which you never saw because it was an outtake, because I thought there was 8 sides or 6 sides and I didn't realize there's 7. So it's got a unique count when it comes to this kind of stuff, and you know, Yarnspirations is just trying to keep me on my toes. Okay, let's begin. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your first double crochet, and then what I need to do is in the ring place in 13 more double crochets. So let's count those out together. Go right up over top of the straggler. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'm running out of space, so I want to just take this whole thing, and because you're just in the ring you can just shift it. So I'm at 10, 11, 12, and 13. And before you move on, make sure that you can count a total of 14, but you know that we only just did 12 or 13, right? So the chain 3 counts as 1. So there should be this one plus 13. So there should be a total of 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And I need you to slip stitch it to the top of the first chain 3 to form the circle. If you went over top of the straggler, the loose end, you can safely cut that down out of the way and we're good to go to round number 2. Let's begin round number 2. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 and double crochet in the same one as the join. Now each one of the double crochets around in this one is going to have 2 double crochet, and I don't need to show you each one. So just slam in 2 double crochet into each stitch all the way around, and I'll show you a little cheating technique that you can do at the end, but don't tell anybody, it'll be our secret. Do you like cheating techniques? You can let me know in the comments below. So let me show you my cheating technique. So I put 2 in each, and here people that are new think that this is a stitch when it's actually part of this. But the fact is and the reason for that is that when you're a new crocheter, when you go to slip stitch to the top of the first chain 3, that always stays a little open. Do you see that? Drives me nuts. So let me show you a cheating technique. So on the last one, you're supposed to put 2 into the beginning one, or sorry, into the last stitch. So put the 1 in first. Okay, this is not the secret yet. The next one is the secret. Do a 2 together double crochet, and what you're doing is that you're putting a post not only in this stitch but also into this space that doesn't exist technically. So let's just do that. So we yarn over and we go into the last stitch. We pull through 2 and hold. Go into the space that is not a stitch, yarn over, go into the space and pull through 2 and hold. Once you see 3, just pull through the 3 like that, and then that's together. So what's happened is that you still have only 1 stitch that is the last one, but you've got 2 posts that are down, and when you slip stitch it to the beginning, no space. Amazing, right? So let's begin, and you can do that for anything pretty much, because it won't change your counts when you do that. Let's begin round number 3. Let's begin round number 3, and we're gonna start establishing our 7 points. To begin, we're going to chain 3. That's your first double crochet, and in the same stitch of that join you're going to apply 4 more double crochet. This will be your first point. So with the chain 3 and these 4 that I'm putting in, you have a total count of 5 that make up each point. Over the next 3 stitches you're going to make those as a as a double crochet 3 together. How you do that is yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through 2 and hold. Do the next one, yarn over, go in, pull through 2 and hold, and finally the next one. You should see 4 loops. When all is said and done, you'll pull through all of those 4, and that's a 3 together double crochet. The next stitch that is waiting for you is 5 double crochets. It's another point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then over the next 3 it's a double crochet 3 together. I think I have single crochet in my head today, and yet it doesn't exist in this pattern. Go figure, right? Okay, once you put those 3 together you'll see 4 loops, pull through, and the next one is 5 into the same one. So please do that same pattern going all the way around. This is round number 3. As you come all the way around, the last 3 stitches are going to be a 3 together double crochet, and I wouldn't worry about filling in that extra space on this one if it were me and I were you. Just pull this one over, pull it nice and tight, and it should be pretty okay. Like that doesn't bother me too much. Let's continue to round number 4. In round number 4 we're gonna start doing our popcorns finally, and let's begin that next. Going forward, whenever we start another round we always have to slip stitch to the next stitch from where you're sitting. So you end it here, but when you start the next one you have to slip stitch on over first. And what that's going to do is that's going to leave that stitch empty for you when you're ready to come back around. You will use it, but just not at the beginning of the round, just at the end. When you start round number 4 you're going to chain up 3 and apply 2 more double crochets into that same one. The next stitch is the middle one of the grouping of 5 right here, and that's gonna be a popcorn. To make your popcorns you need to put 5 double crochets into the same stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Once you have your 5, go back to the first one and you're going to just go into the front to the back. Okay, it's the first one of 5, and put the loop back on. Pull the loop a little bit tighter back onto your hook and pull through. And it's not done. You have to chain 1 to lock this popcorn so it stays inflated. So popcorns tend to be wider, so make sure you don't forget your first stitch when you go down on the next one. So on the next stitch you're going to apply 3 double crochets first. So 1, 2 and 3, and then continuing along the next 3 in a row will be used as a 3 together double crochet. So you've got one that's already like that, and then these 2. So just look at it as a trio and you're putting those 3 together. So the only difference between round 4 and the next rounds is that it's just gonna get more and more space in between the points. So once those are together, start another point. So you notice that you're on the second one in. Do you see that? Of the grouping of 5, you're in the second, and you're going to apply 3 double crochet first, and then what's your next stitch? It's a popcorn. So the next one is gonna be 5 double crochets in the same one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Release it, go to the first one of the 5 front to back, put back on, pull through and chain 1 to lock. The one right after the popcorn is 3 into the same one. So in the pattern, always going forward, is that you'll always have 3 double crochets that are in the stitch before the popcorn, then you'll do the popcorn and then do 3 double crochets in the same stitch after the popcorn. So in round number 4 though, the next 3 are gonna become a trio. You're gonna put those 3 together, and I need you to repeat this sequence going all the way around for lucky round number 4. So I'm coming back around. Always on this pattern you will end with a 3 together double crochet to finish off the round, and join it to the top of the first, chain 3. Now I'm gonna show you, gonna go take you to the diagram, because now that you understand this, hopefully I'm going to show you how the remaining of the rounds are going to work, because you don't need to see me to continually do the same thing. If I can just show you something on the diagram, and that'll be next. So let me show you something as we progress to round number 5. So we have the popcorns already established, so you know where those are gonna be, and the only difference is that when we go to start things now, when we started round number 4 we chained up 3, we put 2 more double crochets into the same one, and we did a popcorn. So as these rounds get bigger, round number 5 there's going to be 1 double crochet by itself, and then you'll have the 3 into the same one, then your popcorn 3, and then you will have 1 by itself before you put the 3 together at the base here. So what I would concentrate on the most, if you were me and I were you, I would concentrate on these popcorns that you can see, and know that the one before the popcorn is 3 double crochets, and the one after the popcorn is 3 double crochets. I would look at the round below, and you can see that there is 3 together double crochet here, and just remember that that stitch here plus then the stitch before it and the stitch after it becomes 3 together as a double crochet in the future, and put those together. So I wouldn't worry about so much counting. I would worry about looking for the visual cues on what to do. So let's take a look at round number 6. We're going to chain up 3, so it'll be 1 by itself, and then where is the one before the popcorn? It's right here. So this means that it will take 2 double crochets to get there first before applying the 3, the popcorn, and then the 3. And once you know that, again look for the 3 together double crochet here, and know that that stitch here, this stitch, and the stitch before all becomes the 3 together here. So in order to get there first, you have to make sure that you put in your 2 double crochets to get there. So just look for that. So the only thing that you're really trying to maintain is looking for the visual cues of the indent and look for the visual cues of the popcorn, and know that the one before the popcorn has the 3, and know that the middle 3 stitches will share and become a 3 together double crochet. I'm gonna take you through round number 4 just to verify this theory, and once you understand that, I think you're good to go and you can turn me off for the day or turn me on. Okay, I'll be right back. So let's start number 5. Remember what I said is that when we join things we have to think about moving to the next stitch first. So we have to slip stitch over 1 and then begin. And in round number 5 there is chain 3. That's gonna be the 1 double crochet that sits by itself as I pointed out, and the next one is right before the popcorn, so that will have 3 double crochet in it. So we have 1, 2 and 3. You have the popcorn next, so you're gonna still make that a popcorn. So in the top there where you did the chain 1 to secure it, that's the stitch you'll go into, and you will apply 5 double crochets into that same one. So we have 1, it'll be tight, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Once that's done, release it, go to the first one and pull through, and don't forget the chain 1 to lock it. Now I'm looking for the visual cue of the 3 together, which you see here. So the stitch here and the stitch after, so before and after, will share the same 3 together double crochet for this one. So we're gonna come down the other side. So in the stitch after the popcorn it's going to be, yes, it'll be 3 double crochets if you said that to yourself. And I look for where this 3 together is, and noticing that I'm gonna use the stitch before and after, so I have 1 stitch that's left unaccounted for, and that's gonna be my 1 double crochet that will go down. So this distance between the bottom and the top will get wider and wider, and if you can look for the visual cues it'll save you counting. So put the middle 3 together as a double crochet, 3 together. And then look for what you're going to do. So you have 2 stitches before you get to the popcorn, so you know that the stitch before is gonna be 3 double crochets. So this is unaccounted for, so that's just gonna be 1 double crochet by itself, and then the next one is the one before the popcorn, so you'll have 3 into the same stitch. Okay, and then once you get that 3, apply another popcorn in the top of the popcorn. So hopefully this gives you the visual cues. You can just go around and around as much as you need. The blanket is 36 inches in diameter, and it has a color play as I mentioned, so make sure that you do see that video if that helps you to know how to change your colors from one to the other, if that matters to you. It does matter to me for focal point reasons, because I want to get it as close to the sample as possible. So I'm going to leave this in your capable hands and look for the visual cues, look at the diagram, see the video description for the links if you would like that copy of that diagram to be able to play with and be able to do that. Now there is tassels on this thing. We have videos on tassels. There's also instructions in the pattern if you would like to do that. When you put your tassels on, it says sew 1 tassel to each of the peak. If you would prefer to wash your blanket when you attach a tassel, you can do a bow tie so that you can release it if you want to, or just skip the tassels altogether. You can decide what works for you. It is your creativity at the end of the day. I'm making in behalf of the Crochet Creatives with my friends at Yarnspirations.com. We'll see you.